Joining us now, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. First of all, your overall reaction. It's very hard, I guess. Everything for the next 237 days, Lindsey, is going to be viewed through the prism of politics in a presidential election. That is the nature of politics. This should be something that's not political, but it has been politicized. Let's be honest. No president ever acted faster. The president was criticized for the travel ban, criticized for the quarantine, criticized no matter what he did on this particular thing, immediately gave us $8.3 billion, set up the task force. I gave a rundown, a timeline of all things, and he's still getting hit.
Well, if you want to play the criticism game, almost every Democrat came out hard against President Trump when he shut down travel from China. The probably strongest decision he's made, the most important decision, was to act early when he saw what was happening in China. But the president said tonight, this is about us as a nation, not me as a president, not my party. It's about all of us. So he gave an economic vaccine. If we will follow his lead, I'm not so sure about the payroll tax yet, but everything else he said made sense to me to stabilize the economy and prevent the spread of the virus. I think the president was incredibly presidential tonight. He was reassuring. He's doing everything he can, in my view, to stop the spread of the virus. We're taking it serious, but we're not going to go crazy.
All right, let's go through what the president's been saying tonight. He'll always put the well-being of the American people first. If we are vigilant, we will significantly impede the transmission of the virus. No nation is better prepared than the U.S. We are all in this together. Put politics aside, which would be good for once. He put the travel ban to Europe for 30 days, with the exception of the U.K. Emergency actions providing financial relief for businesses directly impacted. I guess the cruise industry, the airline industry, and workers, by the way, hourly paid workers, so they won't lose their jobs and they'll have some financial relief if they have to stay out for caution. Anything else he should be doing in your view?
I can't really think of anything. I know this. If President Obama had given this same speech, they would be applauding all over the country for decisive leadership, clear-eyed view of the problem, taking action, preventive action, trying to bring about economic stability before it gets worse, trying to prevent the spread of the virus. I hope that everybody listening tonight saw a president who was in command of the issue, in charge, ready to do whatever is necessary to stabilize the economy and protect the American people. And I would just say this, of all the economies in the world, we're the strongest. And of all the places in the world to provide quality health care, America is the premier spot on the planet, and we're going to stay that way.
Let's talk about, there is a need for some perspective. I've been trying to give it. For example, in a year, 12,000 Americans with H1N1. This is 2009 and 10. This isn't about politics, what I'm saying here. But 12,000 Americans died. 20,000 contracted the disease. There was never a travel ban. There was never any type of quarantine put in place. There was not this level of alarmism. Even the markets didn't react this particular way. I've never seen a president instinctively put a ban in place, take a lot of heat for it. Why, if the flu is by pure numbers much more dangerous, why do you think there's this reaction that we see everywhere, which we should take it, we got to take everything seriously. I want a cure for cancer and heart disease, for the flu, for the common cold, and for corona. Of course, we got to be careful.
I think the exotic nature of it, it came out of China, it came from left field. Nobody really understands exactly what it's all about yet. A coronavirus case is like an airplane crash. The flu is like a car wreck. We have a lot of car wrecks, people die in car wrecks, but it doesn't get much coverage. Every time somebody gets infected with a coronavirus, it's like an airplane crash. And that's just the way the media has treated this. They treat the coronavirus like a series of airplane crashes. And all I can say about the president, if you've got a better idea, come forward. And what I hope he will do is not sign off of some Democratic package coming out of the House tomorrow that's not going to grow the economy, but will grow the size of the government. We don't need economic stimulus for the federal government. We need economic stimulus for the for the American people, and they're going to want to grow government. And what the president wants to do is help the economy.
Well, and I think this is an important thing. Now, the president's right. I mean, bringing all these bankers in, Wall Street guys in, I think is important.
Private sector people.
Listen, we have had the greatest economic growth we've had. We see the jittery markets reacting day by day to what is going on here. There's the added factor of a oil battle, if you will, between Russia and the Saudis and OPEC. That does not help things. But at the end of the day, we've had unprecedented economic growth. Now the question is, if we can keep these numbers low, local cities, local states, municipalities doing their thing, schools closing as they deem necessary, people taking the precautions they can take. At the end of the day, what we have is a virus that's very scary, like every other virus, but it is unlike H1N1. That impacted younger people. This seems to really be impacting or putting at real risk only the elderly with underlying health issues and some type of immune disorders. How do you interpret that data?
Well, what I understand is that this is targeted to the people who suffer the most are older people, people with pre-existing conditions. I don't think we've had anybody in the world die under 30. Let's take it serious, but the president is meeting with the private sector. He's asking banks to be involved. He wants to increase the amount of money the Small Business Administration can loan to people to get back on their feet. Look and see what Democrats do tomorrow. I think they're going to grow government programs. They haven't talked to anybody in the private sector about what we can do to stabilize the economy. Their reaction, unfortunately, is going to be to grow the government. The president's action is try to create a partnership between the government and the private sector to stabilize the economy. And he realized more than any president in my lifetime that the strength of the American economy and American people is in the private sector, not our government.
All right, Senator Lindsey Graham, thank you tonight. Now